Yeah, I can go before my brain goes to mush after work.
Kind of coming to the end of the stream here, and I am fresh out of my notes here.
Your dad sent you a message on Teams, by the way.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. He just told me to tell you.
Oh yeah, we can do that. So actually, maybe we have already done that, Jace. Actually, because here's the thing. Okay, so I've talked about we did a showcase with Lumen as well a few streams back where I showcased like what it looks like with it on and off, and maybe we can revisit some of those videos. But I kind of want to show real quick what my game looks like with kind of on and off. So Lumen, for those who don't know, is the system that I think I'm working on. It's like a combination of different.
What clip are we in at the moment before we start on with this shit? Let's take Eastern Dune Forest off. Take that one off as well. Oh, Desert Canyon needs fixing. Where did that tip go?
But these areas here, they're not.
So here's one area that I think a lot of people are checking out.
Yeah.
Let's end it there. Where did I buy up to ago? There we are.
Your dad sent you a message.
Oh yeah, we can do that. So actually, maybe we have already done that, Dave. Actually, because here's the thing. Okay, so I'm talking about we did a showcase.
Need to turn the transparent Twitch chat thing on again.
Kind of want to show real quick what the game looks like in terms of on and off. So for those who don't know, is the illumination system that I think I'm working on.
other thing to remember with a lot of these is like sometimes the difference between playing the game and not playing the game, so like that contrast is not very in most cases. In cases like this, it will be apparent. Absolutely, that's obviously a major scenario there. But in most cases, One video I kind of want to share real quick is actually from Satisfactory Reviews channel. Some people have asked about CPU stuff. Yeah. Cool. Alright. -1 minute for Q&A. Oh shit. One video I kind of want to share real quick is actually from Satisfactory Reviews channel. Some people have asked about I don't know. But I think maybe he knows a little bit more about shout out, there he is actually. He knows a little bit more about hardware than like I do. Check out this video. He talks a little bit about what he also talks about stuff regarding to make what we want to do with that. However, that GPU, I think it's like it's smaller number. It's like actual so smaller GPU, but it's not actually smaller is always better. Yeah, exactly.
These tips adjusted.
one video I kind of want to share real quick is actually from Satisfactory News channel.
Oh yeah.
Some people have asked about GPU stuff.
Yeah.
Hardware stuff. I know it's not many others about that, but I think Mason who runs he knows a little bit more about. Yeah, there he is. He knows a little bit more about hardware than like I don't know. Check out this video. A bit about and he also talks about stuff regarding hardware. I feel that some people.
I'm going to pause that because I need to do some math. So, quick wire. What I can do with the quick wire is either I cap the production of this entire production system to assume 60 minutes, 60 quick wire a minute, which will drop that down, which will drop all of those down, because that'll get dropped down. Because that gets dropped down, that gets dropped down, and then that gets dropped down, and so on. So the reason like these are dropped down below 100% in the first place is just because of that thing. And then the adaptive control unit. Recipe. But quick wire seems sufficiently plentiful that we can get away with it. But a merger on... No, a bit further back. Yeah, that looks about right. That means these get set to 42 units a minute each, because it's like 84. Quick wire for that, yep. Then we move on to this one. I'm not going to do steam copper sheets, because, you know, screw that. Yeah, it's in slightly the wrong place. Thought I had a crystal oscillator alt. That's capped at 1 crystal oscillator a minute. Which is all we need. Resume that now. I think I need to rethink how I'm doing the space elevator factory ship, because this is a fucking mess. They're just going to keep on going back and back and back. So that's it, because you know, bleh. I think what I need to do is actually scoot it out a bit. And oh, actually, that's a thought. I should change the stream info. Building new space elevator factory parts factory. There we go. So I need to put it somewhere that's going to be relatively unconstrained. It's going to be kind of constrained anyway. I think it might be time to like dismantle the fixed factory. It's either that or we put it somewhere completely different. Because like the issue we've got is I think I need to build like the ziggurat style building, especially where we've got multiple components of the same type being produced. And like this style of just like shipping parts up's like not really at all effective. Can't go on that building, which means if I dismantle this, then it's just gone. Which means I might need to just put it somewhere else completely new. Yeah. I think we need to go out on the shit here. I mean, option 2 is a start saying because that eliminates the problem entirely. Because, yeah. The main issue we've got here is build the space elevator factories like this isn't at all effective, where each floor is one space elevator part, and you just have a big massive spaghetti going further and further backwards. I mean, like the Fixmas factory here is a perfect example of like one that's in production, even though it's only limited to an assembler output. You've got these like this kind of like semi-neat, but like all of this entire production line is just for this one machine at the front. All that's producing is one Wonder Star a minute, and it requires all of that on one floor. And there's like this, like, it's not exactly spaghetti, it's not exactly neat either. It's like, it's an organised mess. And it's like it's difficult to maintain. So the thing to consider here, actually, yeah, we may as well like change the stream again. Let's see. Considering restarting. So one of the things that became other things that became clear, aside from this being untenable, is I've stopped using trains. So the only reason these two ziggurats this far apart from these two ziggurats is to allow for all of the train stations placeholders in between, on the assumption that one would be shipping parts in between, just because like long distance hauling and stuff. But we've gotten up to fuse modular frame over on there, and like the only thing that was a bit of a mess was putting an nitrogen gas facility in, just because we hadn't really accommodated it before. And we've gotten fine with viaducts. So this can just be like right next to me now. And then that leaves like the entire rest of Rocky Desert free for doing like, well, seasonal and Fixmas shit. Because although like the idea with this layout is that the back of the building is left the back of the sides of the building are left unconstrained, there is a realistic maximum limit for which, you know, like the factory's actually going to kick in on. So you could easily just say, oh, anything in the northern Rocky Desert is like seasonal and space elevator shit, and anything in the southern is for, you know, main production shit. And if we don't have this big long viaduct over here, and it's just that viaduct that's a little bit wider, then we don't even need to just say like southern and northern slope. We could just say like, oh, coastline is for seasonal and space elevator shit. So I think I've convinced myself that's what I'm going to do now. Now I build on like stilts, so I'm going to be pretty safe by all of the changes covered in the live stream for the Rocky Desert. The only difference is going to be what style of leg goes where. Like, if it's going to be like splayed legs there, or it's going to be like serial splayed leg, or like complicated shit going on there. I'm sure I've got more complicated ones elsewhere. Like that one's there just to accommodate the belt that I already had in place. Yeah, that's the style of the split of the leg wasn't involved. Key thing I'm going to be doing is just cutting that shit out entirely. It's going to go. One of the things I'd considered doing was raising this up another level to account for the train station basement level. I don't necessarily need to do that because train stations only need 6 small segments high, so there's like that thing to consider. I'm pretty sure neither of these buildings take refineries. These are both going to have the same height. These are both going to have the same height floors. Yeah. One thing I might consider doing is splitting that shit up a bit. So if it's like scooted over a little bit, or if it's scooted up rather, then it doesn't need to be as well. Actually, it might end up being as tall as it is now, but the ground floor would be further up, and the water extractor would just be considered in the basement. It's either that or I might just end up putting it all in a completely different place. Hopefully this one has. So, yeah. I think what I'll end up doing is... well, actually, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a photo here. Because there's a question I didn't have a chance to ask on the stream. Be safe, because I know there's a Windows issue with shit. Factory deal. No, it's not there. Crap, where is it? I'm gonna have to go on Discord and check where it is. I see on my Windows 10 machine I had this like set up as a library, so I didn't even have to go find it. Well, yeah, like that's the like the thing I want to be asking about, because the only reason this is shown as a whole is because the map didn't assume that it could be viewed from this height. But I want to have that confirmed. Let's see, so where's the FAQ channel? Oh, it's in documents, not local app data. Possible. Didn't have a chance to post ask this on Tuesday. Will the UE5 changes stop this rocky desert cave entrance from throwing the void? Viewing from high altitude positions. The alt text in. Right. Bishop area of the factory. That's our version. What's my version? 211839. Again, it's not good shit. So, yeah. I'm going to scoot ahead. Let's pull up the lossless cutscene. And I'm going to scoot ahead and see how far from here we are to the Q&A segment. Yeah, so there's like half an hour of stuff where it seems to be pretty consistently not the rapid fire Q&A that they normally have. Because they're still flying around the world and stuff. So I may as well just start now. But I think what I'm going to do is take a break, get some like food, and then the next stream will be the start of version 20. So yeah, that's going to be fun. Like how many hours have we had in version 19? That version 19b. Oh, 237 hours and 46 minutes is when we give up on that one. That's the one that was knackered. That one was abandoned after 186 hours. I don't know what was wrong with 18b. Or 18. Or 17. I really didn't save all that often there, did I? I know what might happen here is these might be the cleaned up versions of the save folder, and like everything else is in the backups. So yeah, that's more likely. So 16 was abandoned after 373 hours. Second, someone said something. No biomass. Yeah, always no plant-based biomass. No chainsaws. It's just not really my style of shit. So yeah, so the ones where I actually do get to get going in, I tend to get around about 200 hours. I'd have to go into the backups to get the older versions of the save files. But we've got version 16 there, which is 333 hours. I know that I've got a save session that was over 500 hours. But we've got 237 hours there. Let's get up top on the radar tower and just like survey things and make any mental notes. See, my brain's gone off. I have to go over car. One of the things that's going to bug the shit out of me is, but I'm just going to have to get over it, is I probably have 50 fuse modular frames now, which means I could unlock leading edge production. Well, that's a bit of a wonky looking cloud. It'd be nice if you could just toggle the UI off, because there's not very many places you can look while inside here that don't trigger the thing. I would imagine it'd be dreadfully inconvenient if you had to climb up to the top just to configure the tower. Anyway. Hello. Plant shit up here. Oh, shit! Whoop. Yeah, that's people that aren't familiar with my voice, my vocal range are gonna get like the shit scared out of them if they're watching the VOD, because they'll be like, "Oh, here's my normal speaking voice," and then they'll be like, "Shit!" I mean, he flew off and get them. I'm just got to make sure I don't have the shift key like enabled, because that's the problem I'm having. Okay, let's try that again. There we go. Need better collision on the radar now so I can do this properly. So, the single manifold layout on the fuel gens is a pain in the arse, but it did make swapping recipes a lot easier. Having the separate manifolds for recipes versus having the separate manifolds for overflows versus the actual dedicated supply chain, that was a success. The only downsides that came from like this layout was that this facility here became kind of useless pretty quickly. Just because I ended up once I unlocked like which recipe was it for fuel? Actually, I don't think I even unlocked a recipe for fuel. I think I was literally just making that recipe for fuel. And then using polyres, and it was all the alts for the computer and circuit board shit. That meant like the plastic usage dropped off really quick. Let's see, things that were successful over here. Everything was pretty much good. The only thing is that like this building didn't have consistent signage compared to, you know, I mean, you can see the signs from all the way over here. So that like needs to be deployed pretty much right away. This building's going to be a hell of a lot closer. Like, I basically need to put like the same amount of space between like the fronts as there is between the sides. Again, the only place that was a problem over there was the nitrogen gas factory, but that's going to be like a bigger problem when this gets pulled forward, because that'll have a longer distance to go and then return. That one was a bit of a mess from the start, because it was built to allow for pure iron ingots and pure quartz for like quartz production and steel. I think let's see what's the recipes like. Quartz crystal has an item reduction on it, so that's good there. Silica, that's an item increase. So the assumption of crystal oscillators being built over there, that went out the window once I switched to crystal computers. So one could more evenly distribute these two. Like concrete doesn't need to be in the same building when I can just belt concrete over. For example. Let's see. Everything was fine with the coal gen stuff, aside from the beans being a dick. Yeah. And then there's the other things was this like factory down here. So that was just sinking space elevator parts for points. That's all it did, and then it got dismantled. I forget. Well, it got partially dismantled, I think, and then it got changed to something else. Or am I thinking a different save? Because there's something still there. There's a concrete. The point is, there's a concrete factory over there that just got abandoned pretty quickly. So I needn't bother with it, and just do something more efficient down here instead. And yeah, like the one thing that was being a pain in the arse that's still on the to-do list is actually supplying enough Caterium ore. Because there's only that one miner actually supplying anything, I think. I might be bringing Caterium ore in down here. Well, judging by the way things are looking... Oh, God, that looks like arse. I'm not sure that even actually has a texture loaded on it. That's going to look better in update 8. That'll be nice. Looks like plastic. Looks like just completely melted plastic, and it can blur and yeah. This is a bit of a mess here, where we've got like there was a quartz factory in there that was kind of abandoned for quite a while until quartz was needed for bauxite, and then the recipe shifted and the quartz was no longer needed. So it might be worth going when I get to needing quartz. It might be worth going a little further afield to those resources, because those are the ones that actually get used. And one. Can we ping it? Nope. Am I just forgetting which key combo it is to ping resources? I thought it was V, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm pressing V, it's not working. I wonder if it's because I'm up too high. But anyway, there's quartz in here somewhere. So this is about as far afield as like this is the only places I've gone on the map, but I've only built in like that area, not counting like a viaduct that's poking out into here. No. Yeah. An extra save in here. v19b Livestream farewell. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to take a break, get some food, and then start a new save and get the rest, like get the final bits of this stream clipped. I'm going to try not sleeping, but if I end up crashing after like eating because I've just come on here straight after work, then obviously I'll be napping. So that's going to be off now. Thanks for joining. Goodbye.